All right, guys. So we're back here. Um, so we're gonna get started looking at TR and how he handles the business side of the United States, the economy, and what he's looking to do. So there's a lot of stuff up on the screen here. You have the Square Deal, trust busting, J.P. Morgan, Northern Security, the Hepburn Act, Elkins Act. There's all these different things he does. So I guess the best place to start is to discuss what a I'm actually going to do what a trust buster is first. So, essentially, he's a guy that liked business, but he also knew that it needed to be regulated, and it was for the welfare of the country to make sure that they were doing the right thing. So he's going to go after a lot of these trusts, which are basically another way of saying monopoly. Um, and he's going to, over the course of his presidency, they'll be filing 45 different lawsuits to break up these trusts. The most famous is the breaking up of Northern Securities, which is owned by J.P. Morgan. And he's a financier who is super powerful in the country, and they win the case, and Northern Securities actually has to get broken up. The Square Deal for labor is really, it's not just for labor. That's a little misleading. It's really for everything he sort of stands for. So, like, when you talk about, there's like business and labor, there's all different. I'm trying to think of another example. Well, we'll start with this one. All right, business and labor. So, for instance, the Square Deal is that everyone gets the same amount, like an equal share. So, there's a strike, the anthracites coal strike, and it's heading towards winter, and obviously people need coal to heat their home. And these guys go on strike because they're unhappy with the work conditions. We learned about unions. We know what they the whole purpose of a union is. So the company wouldn't budge, and unlike before, when the government would support the business owner and just break down the unions and get things back on track for the businesses, but there'd be no gain for the working class. TR actually calls the union and the company in, and he sort of helps broker this deal and gets everything back in place, without using violence, which is a breath of fresh air. And it showed that he was really supportive of the working class and wanted to do the right thing. And that's where the whole idea behind this like Square Deal comes from. Okay. So he's going to do that again later with conservation, and he's going to do it with other actions as well. One of the things he does is there's a Hepburn Act, which regulated the railroads. There's also another one that's similar to this. It's called the Elkins Act, which was a way to heavily fine railroads for giving rebates and like deals to certain companies, but not to others. Okay. Oh, all right. So the jungle, you guys read this. This was one of your first assignment I put up, and it's just quickly to go over. It's written by Upton Sinclair, as it says right here, and it's the story of the meatpacking industry and how disgusting it was, which you guys should know from reading that. There are going to be two laws passed. After, well, first of all, FDR or not FDR, Teddy Roosevelt reads it, and he's like blown away by it, and he's going to support a lot of legislation that's going to help change that situation with the meatpacking industry, which is just filthy and gross. So he's going to help pass the 1906 with the Pure Food and Drug Act, which is essentially why we have labels on things and hold companies responsible for what's in our food. So that's an important thing. Before that, there was also the Meat Inspection Act, which allowed there to be sort of federal oversight of these places where food is produced. So they would have health officials go in to make sure things were clean the way they were supposed to be. So that's one way that he's looking out for, the people. And that's progressive. That's change. That's change for the positive. It's helping America. It's helping people. It's looking out for them. This right here, TR appoints Gifford Pinchot to head the new U.S. Forest Service. So TR has relationships with two guys that are like super important in the history of conservation and preservation. One of them is Gifford right here. All right. And he's going to be a guy that wants to use conservation, which is where you sort of manage the land. You close it off to the public, but the government still is able to use it and manage it so it doesn't get thrown away and destroyed, and all the natural beauty is run over like forests and things like that. The other guy he knows is John Muir, who is a famous naturalist, but he's more on the side of preservation, where he wants nothing done. He doesn't want anyone involved. He just wants it to be left alone.